Hey everybody, it's BONDofGAMES. Welcome back to some more Pokemon Leaf Green. In the last episode, we took on both the Snorlax that were blocking each of the pathways to the next city, Future City. And I actually went down the other path, which was the short way through Cycling Road to get to Future City. In this episode, we're going through the long route, which is, I believe, routes 12 through 15? Something like that. Either way, this is the longer pathway to get through. And there are a lot of new Pokemon that you can start catching as soon as you get a certain key item that's actually coming out very shortly. Oh, and I already battled this guy by accident in the last episode. So I have to sneak around him. I'm going to ignore the little couple right there. Alright, and that's where Snorlax was. So everything we touch from now on is new territory. Now, stopping in here, let's talk to this guy. I'm the fishing guru's younger brother. I simply love fishing. I can't bear to go without. Tell me, do you like to fish? Yeah, grand! I like your style. I think we can be friends. Take this and fish, young friend. So, just by bombarding this guy's house, just like, hey, hi, I'm me. I'm protagonist of something you don't know about. Oh, hey, wanna be friends? Yes, I would love to be friends. Here's a thingy, friend. And you get the best rod in the game. I have a request. If you catch a big Magikarp with that rod, I want to see it as much as I love to fish, blah, 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 Magikarp. Let's not worry about Magikarp with the Super Rod, but there are actually a few Pokemon you can catch with the Super Rod that could be of interest. And since this is the first time we're ever using it, of course we're going to get something new, so let's see what we got first. Pokemon's on the hook. And the first Pokemon up is Krabby. Now, personally, I like Krabby. Pretty cool. It's got a great attack and defense. The problem is the terrible move pool. It's better in later games, but in this game, it's more like the Crab you want to just kick back into the water, honestly. I will go ahead and try catching this just for the sake of having it, like, added to my Pokedex total so that I can have my grand total of 60 Pokemon at the end of the game. And look at that! Easy catch. Very easy catch. I pulled the Snorlax on it. Okay, anyway. I do not want to give a nickname to Krabby, but if you guys would like to come up with one, go ahead and post it in the comment section below. Now, next Pokemon I'll talk about is someone that was actually on the same page as Krabby on the Pokedex page. Did not mean to battle this guy, but I might as well just show it while I'm talking. Gyarados. Yeah, Gyarados is not too rare anymore, especially since we got the Super Rod. And yeah, it's really not that rare of a Pokemon for how good it is. It's got Intimidate for the ability which will lower your opponent's attack upon switching in. And while its stats may not be the best for it in this generation because it's a water type and there hasn't been a physical special split between all the moves yet, Gyarados is still one heck of a great Pokemon, which is why you see the Jerk using it all the time. So yeah, definitely a good Pokemon. I would recommend picking it up if you really have no other place on your party for any Water-type Pokemon. It's not my choice of a Water Pokemon, which I actually will get into within the next couple episodes. But yeah, pretty good Pokemon. Anyway, next up, there's a lot of Pokemon on this route. A lot just from Super Rods and moving around the water alone. Next one is Horsey. Once fully evolved, I'd say it's pretty good, and it only has one weakness, that being Dragon. Unfortunately, Kingdra is not available in the main story of the game through leveling up or trading or any of that. So the most you can get out of it is a Seadra. I almost said CK. Most you can get out of it is a Seadra, which honestly isn't that great. It doesn't stand out too much amongst all water Pokemon. And honestly, I'm just not a fan of Pokemon that can't fully evolve in this generation yet. Next up is Psyduck, and Psyduck has average stats across the board, but it has a terrible move pool. And with the exception of speed, I think the next Pokemon I'm about to cover just outclasses it greatly, and that's why this thing doesn't even get that much love on this bye. And there it goes. Next Pokemon I've got covering is Slowpoke. Now, as its name implies, it's very slow. But I think that's the only downside to this Pokemon. Psyduck and Golduck may be able to learn Calm Mind and Confusion, stuff like that. But Slowpoke and Slowbro can learn that and more, and I think put it to much better use. Yes, so Slowbro can be a huge tank, can really bulk up its special attack and defense with Calm Mind. It has great moves for Water, Ice, Psychic. It's really good. It can even learn Flamethrower and Fire Blast. As a matter of fact, this actually was my original water Pokemon of choice throughout this LP. So that's how much I love Slowbro. Yeah, originally my choice. Only problem with it is that I think it's too good and I don't want to use it. I'd rather use something that's not quite as good and never gets as much love from anybody, and we'll cover that Pokemon when we get to that Pokemon. But now you know the last Pokemon I'm trying to get on my team is a water type, so get ready for that. Anyway, as of now, there are no new Pokemon to cover, but there will be a couple to cover very shortly. And that sucks that Leech Seed just barely, dang, just barely left Nidoran Male alive. Alright, now I got Bruru's level 30, and I think this guy's got another Pokemon, but since I'm done talking about the wild Pokemon you can encounter, I'll just go ahead and skip. Alright, and we defeated Camper Justin. Ow! I don't know how you got hurt when I attacked your Pokemon, not you. I could have made my Pokemon evolve with a Moonstone. I would have won then, I bet. Not really, because, I got this chick right here. So I probably would have won. Anyway, here's an Iron, which will actually boost your defense by boosting its EVs by 10. That's something I'm not really going to get into, but basically there's 510 EVs. Well, here I'm getting into it anyway. Effort values is what EV stands for. There's 510 possible effort values, and the max you can get in each stat is 252. Every 4 EVs is an extra stat boost in that category. So for defense, by using Iron, you increase yourself by 10 EVs, which is enough for plus 2 defense, unless you have enough EVs to roll over and it's plus 3. That's the gist of it. If you don't understand, Google is your friend. Skipping this battle. What's catching? Not you. You never know what you could catch. Yes, I do. Yeah, speaking of not catching, yeah, Fisherman Andrew lost it because he only has 2 Magikarp. And that's why I'm trying to avoid Pokemon. Anyway, now that you got some grass down here, there's actually some more Pokemon you can run into. Yeah, you thought I was done completely with those water Pokemon? Nah, not even close. Anyway, while I'm maneuvering around this maze to where you don't actually have to fight any trainers. Actually, don't want to go that way. Yeah, I'll go ahead and start talking about the new Pokemon. Gloom. I've already talked about Oddish and the rest of its evolutions before. But yeah, Gloom isn't that great of a Pokemon. It's not absolutely terrible. Grass and Poison is an extremely common type. And yeah, I might have picked one up in replacement of Ivysaur had I started off with another Pokemon and I was actually playing Fire Red. But aside from that, not the greatest Pokemon. In fact, there's several grass types I would prefer over it, and I would actually pass it up entirely. I was lying the entire time. Ha! Gloom sucks! Anyway, moving on. Weepinbell. Once again, like I said earlier with Bellsprout, it's similar to Gloom, but it is less defensive. It has decent attack and special attack instead of just special attack. It's got the same ability with Chlorophyll, so it's faster in the sun, it can charge up Solar Beam, all that good stuff. So it's not terrible. It can actually be used better in later generations with moves like Swords Dance and stuff like that. It can be very good of a mixed attacker. It was originally one of my grass type choices before I decided to go off with Bulbasaur. And actually, whether or not I had picked Bulbasaur, there's a particular grass type coming up very shortly that I think is much better, and even though you're seeing one yourself throughout the entire LP, it doesn't mean you wouldn't want to use it for yourself. I'll just leave it at that, and you'll see it shortly. Bird Pokemon. Bird Pokemon. Hey, Mitch! The guy from Pentatonics. Okay, anyway. Let's see. There's 2 more Pokemon you can catch. Venonat, and Venonat, although it does evolve into one of my favorite competitive playing Pokemon, Venomoth, it's really only good in recent generations. As of this generation, it's pretty garbage. It sucks. Just don't pick it up. It can be, even though it looks like it can fly, it can be hit by ground type moves, that and many others. It's just got huge amounts of weaknesses, and it's just not that good as it is in newer generations with better moves, better stats. I'm sorry, not stats. Items to take advantage of its low stats. Yeah, you just pass it for now. Pass it entirely. There's one last Pokemon you can catch on these routes, and that is Ditto. Now, Ditto, do not get in this game. It sucks. It's only really good for breeding for the most part, or with its special ability in later games, which does not exist yet. And breeding is not even available in the main story of this game. So, Ditto, pass entirely. Even though you look like a failed attempt at cloning Mew. Yeah, no, goodbye. Anyway, that's all the Pokemon that you can catch on these routes. And now, Mitch, Mr. Bird Trainer, here's my bird. And while you may think it's flightless, oh crap. Really? Before I fly, he lowers my attack. So this is gonna do like nothing. Wow. Wow. And now I think about it, why was I oh yeah, I guess I was using Quick Attack with Mozilla just for the sake of talking and not being done with the battle too fast. Alright, well, that's it. I think. Is that it? Yep. Defeated Birdkeeper Mitch. Not ready yet! Well, your body should have been ready. Moving on. Yeah, there's a few more trainers here. You can go ahead and fight these guys for the extra experience. However, I'm just gonna pass on that entirely for now. Except for the exception of, you know, my goof with Mitch. Anyway, there's a Panapberry right there. And to avoid going through some more trainers down here, you can also use Cut. There's a couple trainers up here. I'll actually show off one battle because it's kind of unique to most of the rest of the game. There's some more grass down there so you can catch some more Pokemon, but the only way you can get Rain Dance up here is by coming up here. So Rain Dance will summon rain for a few turns and will power up water type attacks, weaken fire attacks, and Pokemon with stuff like Swift Swim will actually boost their speed in the rain. So that's pretty useful. You're perfect! Help me train my little brother? Okay. So, Crushkin, Ron, and Crushkin. Since they don't want to call him brother and sister or anything, let's have a really awesome name for someone that's never going to appear anywhere else in the game. Crushkin, Ron, and Maya. And they're using him only in Hitmonchan, which are actually Pokemon that you'll be able to obtain later in the game, but only one. Yeah, spoiler alert. But, ooh, right. Rock Slide can hit both, but it's gonna resist that, so let's not. No, I'll just attack him only with Thunderbolt. Yeah, Crushkin. A little too much effort in a name. Oh, come on. Well, there goes Tripolar. My best shot at winning the battle. Oh, crap. I just realized how weak everyone was at this point. Oh, Razor Leaf will help out. Yes, there we go. Maybe I can get a flinch. Or not, with Mach Punch. Going first. Yeah, double battles are actually pretty fun. I used to actually hate double battles because of how much I played Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness, but actually, thinking about it more and having actually gone back and played it a little bit recently, I really like it. Will an LP of it be on my channel? I know a lot of you guys are asking. Maybe at some point in time. Now? No. Wow! Double flinch! Hey! Not bad. Not bad at all. Yeah, with Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness, you think I'm being too strategic now with stuff like Will-O-Wisp on my Mozilla, all that other stuff? You think I'm being strategic now? Oh, you guys might even hate me when it comes to playing Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness. Or you might like it, I don't know. But yeah, maybe one day. Maybe one day. As for today, let's try to wrap up this battle. This video has been going on long enough, and yeah, imagine if I combined the last episode with this episode. That would have been long. And goodbye, Crushkin. Ron, you have to focus. Concentrate on what you're doing. Yeah, Maya, you kind of lost. I wonder what he would say. Oh, bleh. I wish I had a nice sister. Me too, man. Me too. I'm just kidding. I don't know if I would want a sister. I don't have one. Don't know what it's like. At 20 years old, I'm not too tempted to find out. Moving on. Okay, so now, right before we get into Fuchsia City, he's like, are you the kid who's working on a Pokedex? Professor Oak's aide came by here. Alright, well, let's go check upstairs. Hi, remember me? I'm one of Professor Oak's aides. Yeah, we kind of went through this in the last episode with another one of your aide friends that looks exactly like you. Alright, so if you get 50 species of Pokemon, he's supposed to give you a reward. And Professor Oak entrusted him with the experience share for you. Now, while this isn't the most useful thing all the time, if there's a Pokemon that you catch that's at a very low level and you actually want to raise it to be part of your team, that's where it becomes very useful because it will gain half of all the experience gained in a battle. So no matter how many Pokemon you use to switch out, it will always gain half the experience. So let's say, for example, a Pokemon was going to earn 100 experience. 50 of it would go to the Pokemon holding the experience share. Now let's say the Pokemon holding the experience share actually took place in the battle. So for those 100 experience points, 50 of it would go to the Pokemon with the experience share by default. And then half of it from being in the battle will go to it also. So it'll be 75 of the 100 experience points. That's just the basic math portion of it. It's actually going to be way more dramatic than that whenever you actually start battling with it at this point. Because everyone's going to be giving you way more than 100 experience. So it could actually be useful. And if you're like me and you're actually going around catching as many Pokemon as you can to collect those items, not to mention actually do the after game where you need 60 Pokemon, I'd advise you pick it up. And as of right now, personally, I've got 35 Pokemon in my Pokedex. I need 15 more to get to that experience share level. A lot of Pokemon are about to come up in this next area, the Safari Zone. Pokemon Paradise, Safari Zone. Yeah. Basically, you pay admission to get in. There's a lot of Pokemon to get in there. And while you may think, oh, okay, some Pokemon, meh, I just want to move on with the story. Well, guess what? To move on with the story, you have to make it to the end of the Safari Zone maze. So we'll cover that in the next episode. And until then, thank you all very much for watching. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.